Hello and welcome to the Father and Son Formula One podcast. This episode, we are talking about the China, I'm going to have to say the Grand Prix weekend because it's a sprint weekend.
Yes.
And I'm the father in the title, I'm Graham Miller, and here's my son Toby.
Hello.
We were actually just chatting off microphone, as it were, that it was, for us living here in the UK, a fairly brutal weekend.
Yeah.
Because free practice 1 was 3:30 to 4:30, and neither of us woke up for it because it's free practice 1. Although, actually, I mean, on the sprint weekend, it's kind of the only chance to get to dial the cars in to the circuit, so...
Yeah, there would have been a lot of running.
What's interesting about it, looking at the report back, is that actually the McLarens showed a bit of promise.
Yeah.
They were it was a classic kind of Noah's Ark 2x2. 2 Mercedes, 2 McLarens, 2 Ferraris, in that order on the top 6.
Yeah.
Ollie Behrman, who is pretty much inking his name on Lewis Hamilton's contract.
Or Charles Leclerc's.
Yeah, I mean, I think I said this on the pre-season one. This is make or break for Ferrari, because I think Charles Leclerc's out of contract. The rumours before the season started were that his agent is walking around every motorhome. Not motorhome anymore, but paddock area. Because he's either got to be in the fight or he's leaving. But yeah, Ollie Behrman, up in 7th in free practice. He's just impressed so far, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think Ferrari's doing well enough they'll probably keep Leclerc for a bit so far.
Yeah, it's going to be a development race this year.
But also I think that Behrman's kind of next in line to a Ferrari seat.
Yeah, and I mean, if Hamilton leaves for whatever reason, I think Behrman's done enough to prove the point now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And I mean, Behrman's so dedicated. He went out to live in Italy when I think he was 16.
Yeah, to be close to Ferrari.
Because he was a Ferrari junior.
It might still be a Ferrari junior.
Yeah, but I mean, that's properly... I mean, actually, I was thinking about this. Audi, who used to be Sauber, and Ferrari are both slightly disadvantaged because there are some people who just won't move to Italy or move to Switzerland to be part of the team.
Well, that's why Adrian Newey went to Aston Martin, ultimately.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to move to Ferrari, I think. Or Italy or Germany or whatever.
Yeah, it'd be Italy, and then, Sauber, Audi now are in... Switzerland.
In the UK. Oh, yeah, Switzerland.
I mean, the other thing we have to remember when we're looking at this season is for at least the first third, and I think probably nigh on the first half of last year, Oscar Piastri was the man to beat.
Yeah.
So we can look at this season so far and go, oh yeah, it's all like Mercedes at the moment or whatever, but that was with a really settled rule set and it all changed. So everything is on the table.
We all sort of thought that Russell would win everything, but even in this second race, he's had problems.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily that he wasn't a good enough driver, it's just that, operationally the teams aren't quite there yet.
I've heard that Mercedes, while they are being very successful this weekend and last weekend, are actually burning through things like electrical, I can't remember, there's a proper acronym, but like the electrical control units and the engine control units, which they've only got 3 or 5 of for the whole season.
Oh.
So it's not all roses, as you say.
Yeah. So, like you say, it's a development race. And it could change very quickly if people figure things out. I'm just
reading what we missed by not getting up at 3:30 in the morning.
Was it anything of interest?
Wheel-to-wheel running between Norris and Hamilton. Light contact after the McLaren tried to overtake. Noted by the stewards. No further investigation. Virtual safety car to collect some debris. Arvid Lindblad pulled off the track at turn 14.
Yeah.
Another virtual safety car. Doesn't sound like anything exciting.
I mean, again, it was Mercedes fastest, which we knew.
Yeah. Some people doing glory runs on the soft tyre.
Yeah.
Let's just forget about free practice one, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Sprint quali.
I watched the sprint quali, actually. I found a really lazy approach.
Yes.
I can actually get Now TV on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
So I can actually just lie there in bed and pop the pillows up and
watch what happens.
yeah, without having to get up. I mean, I don't get coffee, but swing some roundabouts.
Yeah, I think I watched it. Pretty sure it was only 7:30.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, the McLarens are starting to show promise.
Well, at this point in the weekend, they seemed... Well, it looks like they've got the measure of the Ferraris. They're sort of intertwined with them.
I'm very close on timings. Apart from Leclerc was a bit off the pace.
Yes, he didn't gain as much from Q2 to Q3. He only gained 1/10.
Yeah.
So he just might have made a mistake or something.
I did read something very interesting about McLaren that is echoed by Williams and... Oh, my brain has gone. Alpine.
Yeah.
Under the FIA rules, which I know is like a massive document, if you are a team supplying customer engines, as Mercedes does to those three teams,
yes,
you're not allowed to have the best engines for yourself and just not develop your customer engines.
Yeah.
The rules are that you've got to provide the same package for all four teams, Mercedes, McLaren, Alpine and Williams.
Yes.
Which Mercedes claim they are doing.
Uh-huh.
But the trouble is, again, new rules. An awful lot of what makes a car fast in 2026 is the software and the way it deploys the power and the way it harvests the power and how you drive it to the software.
Yeah.
Now, Mercedes are claiming, well, that's proprietary software. That's part of our secret sauce. We're not just going to give you our software.
Yeah.
But what the technical people at McLaren said is the difference now is that Mercedes can go into a simulator session saying, we know the software, so we expect when we do this, we're going to get that outcome.
Yeah.
Whereas McLaren will do the same simulation and they'll say, well, we'll do this and see what happens. So they're kind of discovering how it works, like almost reverse engineering it and discovering if we put these inputs into the car, if we try driving it in this way in the simulator, we will see what comes out.
Yeah.
Whereas Mercedes are driving it going, well, we've run the software and it looks like if we, choose these gear progressions through this corner, for example, we should get the fastest time. We can run the sim and check it works.
Yeah.
Because, for customer engines, okay, McLaren beat Mercedes last year. But for customer engines, it's a bit weird that Mercedes are, first two races top of the tree. McLaren are struggling. Alpine and Williams. I mean, Williams came fifth last year.
Yeah, and they're kind of nowhere.
They are, well, I mean, what we were originally talking about. They didn't even make it out of Q1, I don't think, in sprint qualifying.
SQ1, no, 17th and 18th.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a really kind of, in a way, I'm kind of going back to the boomers saying, well, just give them big, fast V8s and let them actually race.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weird situation where it's like software and deployment and harvesting and...
Yeah. I think as well, Mercedes have been doing that sort of thing for a while with their engines. Because do you remember party mode?
Yeah.
They have special engine mapping. I forget what it actually is. It's like a mode that they could put the engine into. But they actually, I think it got banned.
Yeah, it is illegal now.
You can't have a special qualifying only mode.
Yeah.
But they've clearly always been, Mercedes powertrains probably have some very good people who know how to do that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Better than anybody else.
Yeah, and it's a very kind of fine balance between, oh yeah, we'll sell you an engine package, but then to what extent do they teach people how to use it? I mean, if you think about it, do you actually get Williams, McLaren and Alpine engineers turning up for training days at McLaren?
Mercedes.
At Mercedes, sorry. Or do you get Mercedes engineers having like a week at each of those to show them the engine? And
I don't know.
because it's not like, I mean, I could, drop an engine in a car, but that's just a question of hooking up the fuel and the electrics and maybe reprogramming the ECU to get used to it. That can be done on a road car, maybe not a modern one, but on the old stuff. But I know people who bought Formula One cars. I know that when people buy Formula One cars, they generally have to have a team of mechanics and a laptop so they can go to track days with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a bit of a kind of question mark, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so is this software, is it like the mapping software for the engine?
Well, it's not just the mapping software for the internal combustion engine. It's what modes you can set it into for, say, harvesting, when it's going to be super clipping.
Surely that's the part of the engine, though, so surely Mercedes should be, if they've got it, then the other team should get it too.
Yeah, but to what extent is that like proprietary software that you've just written?
Well, the same way it's a proprietary engine you've just built, but you've sold it to someone else.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you've got to put the line somewhere, haven't you?
Mm.
You've got to say, well, this much will sell and this much we won't.
Yeah, but clearly the teams want it to be...
Yeah.
Well, Mercedes want to sell them as little as possible, and the customers want as much as possible.
Yeah, and yet there again, the fans probably want to see a difference between the teams, not everybody all kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Although actually, for my money, I would love to see, like, I can't remember what they call it, but a formula where basically you get the same engines and same tyres for all the drivers and just actually settle it.
Like a spec series.
Yeah, spec, that's it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the ultimate dream, isn't it? To see who's actually the best driver of all of them.
Didn't they do it in the 80s with Mercedes?
Yeah, for like a promo thing. I think we've talked about it before.
Yeah, we have, and a young driver called Ayrton Senna wiped the floor with all of them.
Yeah. This was like, it's like the early 80s. I think it was before he was even in F1.
Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah.
But yeah, McLaren doing well, that's what the point was.
Now, you stayed up to watch the sprint, didn't you?
Did I? I think I did actually stay up because it's only 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I usually get home from work at like 11 to midnight, so...
Yeah. I didn't see it. I was like... Yeah, I was struggling a bit, and... Oh yeah, I had to go down to Red Hill as well, so I was staying in a hotel.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I mean, it's a tough time to make even when you're just at home.
And especially a week after Australia as well.
Yeah, and next week, as we record this, is Japan, which is... It's all like 7 a.m. starts or 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Which is... It's getting gradually more manageable, but I kind of wish they'd just, come back to Europe so we can watch it at lunchtime like normal.
Yeah, or do a night race or something, yeah.
I think... Oh, yeah, that's something else we've got to talk about.
Mm.
It would have been Bahrain.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll cover that later.
Well, no, Bahrain and Saudi are cancelled because there's a war going on. And
I think we said it was likely last time.
Yeah, it's definitely cancelled. And although it would be exciting to have drones and missiles landing around the track, they've not gone for it.
Well, it did happen. There was a Saudi Grand Prix that there was an airstrike like a few miles from the circuit.
Oh, yeah.
But then they just kept doing it. They just kept racing.
Well, yeah, it's racing.
But yeah, now it's only 22 rounds this year.
Yep.
There's a big, month-long gap now.
Yeah.
After Japan, before Miami.
Yep. Yeah, the sprint, actually, I'm looking at the report. I actually didn't even catch up on it because, as I say, I had a very busy weekend.
Mm.
But it was actually remarkably hectic for a sprint, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, because it was only the second time that we've had this season with all the different weird things.
But they also had a safety car, which hardly ever happens in sprints.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to remember what happened.
I'm skim reading the report.
Yeah, so Hamilton started fourth.
Yeah.
And took the lead straight, like from the start.
Yeah.
Which was. Yeah, then it was kind of like it was in Australia with a big fight between Hamilton and Russell with like battery stuff.
Yeah. I think Leclerc was getting involved as well.
Yeah. And so I think that was the big story of it. I think eventually Leclerc got past Hamilton again.
Also, there was an Antonelli Hadjar crash because Antonelli didn't get the launch right.
Yeah, Antonelli struggled with his launch.
Yeah.
I'm just reading it as well.
But, I mean, the story so far this year has been Ferrari's launch incredibly well off the line.
Yes.
Mercedes have better straight line speed, and eventually they get ahead and build a gap, which is what happened there. Antonelli picked up a 10-second penalty for punting Hadjar.
Yep.
I'm trying to see what prompted the...
Was it not just
Hulkenberg.
debris?
Hulkenberg stopped his Audi.
Yeah.
Everybody went to soft just for a laugh at the end.
Yeah. So Russell won, unsurprisingly.
Yep.
2 Ferraris on the podium.
But I think Hamilton got affected by having to stack behind Leclerc for the pit stops.
Yes, and then he ended up...
As did Piastri stacking behind Norris.
So Piastri only ended up 6th to Norris's 4th.
Which is the first points for Piastri.
Yeah. Verstappen, I didn't even see where he qualified. Qualified 8th, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then he finished 9th. He was stuck behind Behrman for the whole race.
Yeah, that Red Bull is not happy. Oh, he won today, by the way. We're recording this on Saturday evening.
I did see he won a GT3 race.
He won in a... Oh, there should be the clickbait headline.
Oh, there is already. You know there is.
Yeah.
I could almost see it.
No, listen to this. F1's Verstappen wins in a Mercedes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all completely accurate.
Oh, no, here we go. Max Verstappen wins on Mercedes debut. Oh, hang on. He's been disqualified.
Has he?
Verstappen Mercedes... Oh, advertising. Verstappen Mercedes disqualified from NLS2 victory for tyre infringement.
Damn.
Wow, hot off the press.
Yeah.
That was like less than an hour ago.
Oh, wow. But back in Formula 1...
Yeah, real
that
proper
Red Bull
racing.
is really not happy.
No, neither is Max.
No.
But yeah, so he ended up not scoring points, and obviously Hadjar didn't because he got hit by Antonelli.
Yeah, it was just chaos.
Lindblad DNF'd, I'm not sure why. Bottas did, but it was hardly surprising in a way.
Yeah.
I think there's still a lot of teething issues with the reliability of the cars.
Mm. Talking of teething issues.
Yes.
Qualifying.
Proper real qualifying.
Not sprint qualifying, but qualifying.
Yeah.
The once invincible Mercedes, having had a grand total of 1 race and 1 sprint, which they've won,
Yeah.
had front wing problems.
Yeah.
And in Q3, Russell didn't get out till the end,
No.
which gave Antonelli the pole.
To be fair, Antonelli also put in a time that was better than his Q2 and Russell's Q2.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying he got the pole by default because Russell couldn't. He did an absolutely blinding lap.
Actually, hang on, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly of all, Antonelli was faster in Q2 than Russell was.
Yeah.
He gained 4 tenths. Russell only gained 3 tenths. But if Russell had gained 4 tenths, he still would have been second.
Yeah?
So Antonelli was actually did a very quick time anyway.
Yeah, youngest ever pole sitter.
Yeah, by like 5 years or something, isn't it?
Oh, no, I think Verstappen was like a teenager when he set pole as well.
Was
it Vettel 22 and then...
It was Vettel. I think, because actually I remember even as late as 2018, Verstappen had no pole positions. It actually took him a long time. He was very much... He won lots of races because he was super quick, but he wasn't very good at qualifying back in the day.
But he fought his way up there.
And now, obviously, he's super good at qualifying.
Yeah.
I'm on my favourite Formula 1 driver records.
Okay, while you're doing that, very quickly, in qualifying one, again, like we say, Williams out 17th and 18th, which I think they were really disappointed by. I think there was a message where Sainz or somebody said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, guys. I got as much out of it as I can," and they were just like, "Yeah, we know."
Oh.
And the two Aston Martins and the two Cadillacs bringing up the rear, which again we're kind of used to by now.
Yeah, it's kind of like the bottom six relative to the top six.
Bottas actually out-qualified Lance Stroll.
Yeah?
So I think in the Cadillac home, that's pretty good. I mean, I think they didn't have high expectations of the whole season to actually start out-qualifying people.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Bortoletto down in 16th. Lawson and Lindblad actually out in Q2.
Yeah, they did better in Australia, didn't they? They were both in Q3 there.
I mean, the thing is, we had a solid 8 in the top 10. We had 2 Mercedes, 2 Ferrari, 2 McLarens, and both Red Bulls had Joe and Verstappen.
Yeah, so there were only 2 spaces left.
And that went to Gasly, who I think we should call Monsieur Samedi.
Is that Mr. Saturday?
In French.
Yeah. That's pretty good for Gasly.
I mean, yeah, but Gasly is Mr. Saturday now.
He's not bad in the races either.
No, but how many times has he got it into an unrealistic...
Yeah, you're right, actually.
I think we're going to start calling him Monsieur Samedi. I might have to put that through Google Translate, but it feels right.
That's a proper proper David Croft thing, isn't it?
Yes.
It is Samedi.
Excellent. And Ollie Behrman, as we've been saying, was the last one in the top 10.
Yeah. Out-qualifying Ocon. Like, he's kind of better than Ocon now, it seems like.
Yeah.
Given that Ocon's got like 10 years of experience now.
I think it is that weird thing where some drivers are kind of destined to be superstars and others are like midfield drivers.
Yeah.
And it is starting to feel a bit like Behrman has got promise written all over him. And Ocon is like, okay, you be a good wingman, you're filling out the spaces.
He's won a race.
Yeah.
In fairness. And he's had a number of podiums. So it's kind of like upper midfield, but I think he just gets unlucky with his teams
I've seen stats about how many people have started an F1 race versus how many people have won one. And it's something like, I can't remember, it's in the teens of percents.
Yeah.
Like 14, 15% have ever actually won a single race.
Well, I can have a look. 782 drivers have started a Grand Prix.
Yeah.
There have been 116 winners, so one can do the maths. Also, I found that from the driver records page.
But you have to ask yourself, does that 782 include all the Indy 500 people in the 60s?
Oh, yeah. That was a Formula 1 race back then, and somebody won that one as well.
Yeah. Oh, that probably really skews it, because you've got 30 or 40 people entering some Indy 500s, and then they'd never enter another Formula 1 race.
Yeah, it's about 14%.
Yeah.
I mean, the early days do skew things quite a lot, the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Also, youngest pole sitters. It is Antonelli.
Yep.
Vettel when he was 21. Actually, Vettel, Leclerc and Alonso were all younger than Verstappen was when he got his first one.
But there again, that's a heck of a roll call of really good quality drivers.
And especially with good quality qualifiers. Because Leclerc is one of the best qualifiers ever.
I'm surprised Russell isn't in there, actually.
Yeah, I think he spent too long at Williams, to be honest.
Yeah.
Hamilton's 9th, but that's because he started his career a bit late.
Roughly, yeah. Back to the point very quickly. Qualifying 2, we lost Bortoletto, both racing bulls. Lawson out qualifying Lindblad, which will do his chances very good, but there were a hundredth of a second in it, 200ths.
Yeah.
Ocon, as we've said, Colapinto, and Hulkenberg.
12th is not bad for Colapinto, to be fair.
No, he's starting. I think Colapinto and Lawson are starting to get their confidence back a bit.
Yeah, it's also good for Colapinto to have a proper whole season under his belt and a whole testing cycle.
Yeah.
I think make him a bit more of a complete driver.
And have somebody with a bit of confidence in him as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, Antonelli.
Actually, pretty 2x2 in Q3, wasn't it?
Yeah, Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Piastri, Norris, and then Gasly, and then the Red Bulls that are massively struggling. But there again, I know we said it's a kind of extension of Honda, but A, Honda are really struggling, and B, they've got all the battery and software from Ford who are re-entering at probably the most complex time of the sport.
Yeah, especially for the engine makers.
Mm.
Also, Hadjar 1/10 away from Verstappen.
Yeah, I was looking at that. That's what you need from a Red Bull number 2 driver.
It's just a bit of a shame it's not happening when Red Bull are at their absolute fastest.
Yeah, I mean, if they had like a 2023 or 2024 car.
Although, if we go by the theory that Max built the car, well, he set the car up to how he likes it. If they've stopped doing that, maybe it's more just that Max has fallen back to where the second Red Bull kind of always was.
It could be that. I mean, like we were saying last week, maybe it's the Christian Horner effect.
Yeah, where it's like both drivers are more equal now, but they're slower overall. So what do you have? Do you have one driver who's always winning and is super fast, but the teammate is nowhere because the car's such a nightmare? Or both of them kind of in the middle, but very close to each other?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a weird thing, Red Bull.
I think the Red Bull design overall on like side pods and things is quite extreme. Like we were saying at the beginning of the pre-season testing episode that Ferrari have gone for a really neutral design where they could tweak it this way or that way. They're right in the middle of where development is. And I think Red Bull are one of the people who've gone for a really extreme side pod design.
Hmm.
So that may not be, favouring them too much.
It's clever for Ferrari, though, because they know it's going to be a development race.
Well, yeah, it gives them more directions they can go in. I'm looking at the race, and I'm remembering lying there in a Travelodge watching it on my phone and going, what on earth?
Yeah.
So, Alex Albon, Gabriel Bortoletto, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri
All
failed to start.
Yes.
All with, I think, technical problems.
But both McLarens at once.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive.
And they were the same part of the engine. It was like the electrical control unit or something.
So Bortoletto is the only one of those who wasn't Mercedes powered.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
But it was two different problems on the two McLarens.
Yeah. So that moved up some people, I think.
You've got your driver records tab up there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if this is recorded, and I've seen it in a kind of, not a recognised site, but a bit kind of memey, that apparently Oscar Piastri is the only driver to record 2 consecutive did not starts.
I don't actually know.
I mean, that does.
I don't know if that's on here.
I know, that does kind of sound right to me.
Because this is all like. This Wikipedia page is all like finishes and like fastest laps and podiums and wins.
But yeah, that's what.
Career race retirements. Oh my god.
What?
Andrea de Cesaris retired from 70% of the races he entered. How on earth did he have such a long career?
Wow.
I do remember he was called Andrea de Crasheris, to be fair.
Oh, fair enough.
Wow. Yeah, I can't see anything about DNSs. I might look it up.
Yeah, but apparently it was 2 different issues on the cars. But yeah, they both couldn't start. I saw a really unfair meme, which was like a really grumpy looking Leclerc looking at his Ferrari going, "You will hit 320 kph on the straight." And then there was Norris looking at his car saying, "Please start today."
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was just at the beginning of the race. We were down to 18 drivers.
From 22.
And I think we had the bizarre sight of Behrman reversing on the grid.
Why? Did we? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
What happened? Did he go up into the slot in front of him, which had been taken?
Yeah, I can't remember which way around the McLarens were on the starting grid.
Piastri, then Norris, I think.
So Piastri would have been 5th. So Behrman would... I can't work it out. But yeah, there was a missing...
Wasn't Behrman... I thought Behrman was 10th, though. Let me look at the grid.
Oh, perhaps it was Gasly reversing up the grid.
It must have been Gasly trying to replace Piastri.
Yeah, and he accidentally slipped forward into Piastri's slot and then actually put it into reverse on the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
That's kind of funny.
So, yeah.
Oh, Albon was starting from the pit lane, but I guess he just never made it out of the pit lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, race. I think it was a similar story to the sprint on the start.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Hamilton took the lead.
Yeah, it's a real... I mean, okay, everybody's seen the headlines by now. Antonelli won. Second youngest ever race winner.
Yeah.
Lots of emotion, lots of tears, etc.
Only second season ever as well. It's quite impressive.
Yeah. You know what's even more impressive?
Yeah.
Because of the way the rules are at the moment, Hamilton was really good at the start and led Antonelli, I think, at the end of the first lap. After that, Antonelli got it back, but Antonelli nearly grand slammed his debut win.
Nearly, yeah.
He had pole, he had fastest lap, and he very nearly led every lap.
Yes. I don't know if he kept it through all the pit stops.
He did. I'm sure he did.
Wow. 2 laps away from a Grand Slam on his 23rd race or whatever it was.
While still a teenager.
Yeah, he was born in 2007.
On his debut win. I mean...
It's pretty good. I mean, I think Toto, he said on the radio, I think he's being kind of vindicated in his choice. Because he is really good.
Yeah. Oh no, actually I heard, skip ahead to the end. When he was coming in for the cool down lap, Toto got on the radio to Kimi Antonelli. And he actually said, I said to him, he's too young to start F1. He should spend some time in a junior team.
Yeah.
He'll just crash and hurt people. Well, we showed them, didn't we, Kimi?
Yeah.
Which I think is a lovely thing to say, actually.
Oh, right at the bottom of the driver records page.
Yeah.
Youngest driver to win from pole, Kimi Antonelli. Youngest driver to score a hat trick, Kimi Antonelli. I think that's pole, fastest lap and win. But then Grand Slam is Max, who was 23 when it happened. So he would have beaten that record by over 4 years.
Yeah. So I'm looking up the 2 consecutive DNSs in Formula 1.
Oh, yeah.
The race was absolute carnage with the regulations.
Yeah.
Both Aston Martins DNF'd. And Max DNF'd as well, didn't he? He had to park it up.
Yeah. Apparently, one website.
Yeah.
So the first F1 driver ever to record consecutive DNS results in the first 2 races of a season.
Ah.
But apparently it happened to Bruce McLaren in 1969. And that was
really
that was the last time it ever happened, actually.
Oh, and then he went on to found a team that had it happen.
Yeah. But like 50 years later.
Wow. Yeah, I'm reading the race report. Antonelli retook the lead before the end of the second lap.
Yeah, so Hamilton led lap 1.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah?
It was an amazing race for Hamilton, to be fair.
I mean, it was an amazing race altogether. I mean, we had Hamilton and Leclerc fighting properly side by side to get the last step on the podium.
Yeah, because I think even both of them knew. They both got the jump on Russell, obviously. They knew Russell was coming. They ended up 20 seconds off him. I think that might be because they were fighting super hard as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were fighting like super close.
Oh, properly wheel to wheel and being quite respectful about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually just like classically perfect racing, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think they touched, but Hamilton after the race said it was fine. It was just a little kiss.
Yeah.
And I think Leclerc got on the radio and said, "This is fun," while it was happening. So it was good. It was good.
I'm just quickly reading the report because it was... Actually, I saw a report from Racing Statistics. Only one person lost places.
Who?
I can't remember who it was, but the top 6 all made up places.
I'm looking. Yeah, because Behrman ended up 5th, which was pretty good
Well,
for
no,
him.
the top 6 pretty much finished where they did, making up places because the McLarens.
Behrman, yeah, but Behrman got past Gasly and both Red Bulls, actually.
I think maybe Hadjar went backwards, I'm not sure.
Hadjar, I think, qualified 9th. Well, let me see. Qualifying, Hadjar qualified 9th and ended up 8th.
Yeah, that was a very tyre race, wasn't it? Because like the soft tyre runners shredded out their tyres by lap 10 and started pitting.
Yeah.
And again, like there was like medium and hard and soft out there.
I think Ocon lost places, it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Did he crash into someone?
I'm not sure.
Or something happened? There was a weird moment with Hadjar where he spun.
Ocon got a 10-second penalty for colliding with Colapinto.
Ah.
It was a really stupid move. I remember it. He just...
Yes.
You know, one of the lunges up the inside where it's like just too late and...
A day late and $1 short.
Yeah, it was just... It wasn't there.
And even Esteban Ocon, of all people, got on the radio afterwards and said, yeah, that was my fault. Which I think was pretty much a slam dunk for the penalty at that point.
He's like, oh yeah, that was my fault. I thought he was a teammate.
Yeah. Or Gasly.
Yes.
He ended up between the Cadillacs.
Yeah, I mean, Cadillac, that's just an incredible result for them, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's last and third from last. But it's also a double finish in a race where only like a handful of teams actually got a double finish.
Yeah.
Where there were, is that 7 DNFs? Or 7 drivers who didn't classify?
Yeah, 7 unclassified drivers, so...
Both Aston Martins and Verstappen DNF'd.
Yeah.
The Aston Martins still having their vibration problems, I think.
Now, I've heard something very interesting about that.
Yeah.
First of all, Cadillac, Valtteri Bottas finished 13th ahead of Esteban Ocon.
Yeah, that's just what I was saying.
The fact they're actually starting to kind of overtake some people is quite...
Well, isn't that because of Ocon's penalty?
Yeah, but...
He was still within 10 seconds of him.
They've actually got a car that will go round and round and round and finish a whole race, and the drivers who won't get penalties. I mean...
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's still last for Perez, but he actually finished the race. Both of them finished the race, which McLaren, Aston, Audi, Williams, and Red Bull didn't. That's literally half the grid.
Yeah. Now, I've heard, and I think this makes sense, I think we're going to have to wait till after Japan.
Yeah.
Because it'll be a month. But there is actually provision in the rules for the FIA to stop Aston Martin from racing.
If it's medically dangerous for the drivers.
And if you actually look at the last few results, I think Lance Stroll finished in Australia, but he was 15 laps behind.
Yeah, he finished in inverted commas because he came out after spending, I think, literally like 20 minutes in the pits for extra running. And he might have even pulled back in again. I don't think it was classified.
He's classified as laps plus 15. Or plus 15 laps.
On my spreadsheet, he's got DNF, but I think
that
that might have been when he I put that in when he DNF'd and then he came back out again.
Yeah, I think the Formula... But the point is then, how many laps was China? Not China, Australia.
Australia was 56 laps. Lance Stroll says plus 15, but also says NC. I think you have to complete a certain distance.
Yeah. So I think the most they've done is about 40 laps with Lance Stroll.
He did finish the sprint.
Okay, yeah, 58. So he's done 43 laps in Australia. But that's with a gap. You know, a chance of 20 minutes for his hands to stop vibrating.
Yeah, and then he retired after only 9 laps.
Yeah.
In China.
So the point is, if the car can't complete full race distance without causing injury to its drivers,
yeah,
which so far it hasn't done a full race distance. 43 laps in Australia with a break in the middle is the best they've managed.
Yeah, which is pretty impressively bad.
Yeah. And apparently they're running out of components because the Honda engine shakes the batteries to pieces.
Yeah. I mean, they might just pull out the championship. They might just say, we actually can't do it. We have failed to build an F1 car.
Which is kind of weird, isn't it?
Well, given that they've got Adrian Newey, I know he's an aerodynamics guy, and also the financial backing of an actual billionaire.
Well, they've got Adrian Newey. They've got Lawrence Stroll.
Yeah.
They've got Aramco as a named sponsor. And if you don't know, Aramco is the official state oil company of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
If you just want to get your head around how much money that must involve.
Yeah, I mean...
And they've got Honda.
Which is actually one of the biggest car companies in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, those 4 combined resources, they've got Alonso to help them develop it.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes to show sometimes you can put... I mean, it's almost like somebody it's almost like an 8-year-old building a pudding and going, we'll have jelly beans and chocolate and all the good stuff all just smooshed in, but...
Yeah. Aramco...
Yeah.
4th largest company in the world by revenue.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of the other ones actually sponsor F1 teams. Somehow Walmart is number 1. I'm not entirely sure how that's possible.
Yeah.
Amazon is obviously number 2. They must sponsor an F1 team.
I haven't seen them anywhere. Who's number 3?
The State Grid Corporation of China.
Ah.
Basically China's like British Gas.
Yeah.
And then there's 5 and 6 are China National Petroleum Corporation and China Petrochemical Corporation.
Oh, fair enough. So yeah, they've got massive resources. I know they've built a new base for Aston Martin and new wind tunnels and everything.
Yeah, by Silverstone. It was like a massive thing.
Yeah, and somehow it's failed. So far, like we say, it's a development race.
Yeah.
If they can get the Honda engine behaving itself, the chassis is meant to be good because nobody will dare say it's not.
Yeah. And they have got, after Japan,
yeah,
they have got a month.
which is what everybody's saying. I think that's probably when the FIA will make their decision.
So if they're still vibrating in Miami, you think the FIA will step in and go, all right, you've had like, what's that, like 3-4 months of the championship running?
Yeah.
Like, since testing as well.
Also, ultimately, either Alonso or Stroll could start litigation.
Yeah.
And the FIA might be responsible if they say, yeah, look, I've got white finger. I can't actually race anymore. You owe me for, like, lost race earnings. And
yeah.
It's a question of liability, isn't it? Anyway.
Or they just leave. I mean, I'm not sure why they would want to stay.
But because they can develop the car while they're running.
I guess, but I guess it's not just like, oh, we're last every race. It's like, what if Stroll's kind of lingering wrist issues get aggravated?
Well, yeah. Yeah, but if they leave, they can't develop the car. What if they leave? Can they do unlimited testing?
Maybe.
There's a lot of questions. Anyway.
It's kind of something that I've never actually seen in F1. Because even when I just started watching, there was like Manor and Marussia who were really awful, like super slow. But their cars weren't actually like damaging their drivers.
No, I thought we might see the 107% rule applying in the first few races, but Cadillac and Aston Martin have actually dragged themselves well within that.
Yeah, they're actually not. Like, Cadillac are not doing that badly, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, for a first startup, which we haven't seen for probably 15 years, they're doing remarkably well.
Yeah, I think, Haas bought a bunch of Manor and Marussia staff, didn't they?
And also they were kind of on the quiet Ferrari B team.
And also Haas, Gene Haas, who founded the CNC machine company, I think they also sponsor NASCAR.
Yeah, they're a very big American NASCAR outfit, so they know racing.
But I think Cadillac have actually just started from scratch, completely. And they're doing they're doing better than Aston Martin, who have been around for ages.
Yeah. So the last DNF was Max, who I think just pulled into the garage and gave up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Max, actually.
No.
It doesn't say. Let me look it up.
I think there were so many technical problems. So from the bottom we have Perez, Ocon, Bottas, Lindblad out of the points, which is weird, Hulkenberg out of the points, and then Colapinto got points for Alpine. Actually, Alpine had a double points finish.
I think
Gasly
that's
6.
I think that's Colapinto's first point in F1, actually.
Probably, yeah, I would say so.
But yeah, Gasly. Actually, Gasly scored points in Australia too.
Yeah. Sainz came in 9th. Hadjar came in 8th. Again, this is what we need from a
leading Red Bull. And also scoring points in Verstappen's absence.
Yeah.
Apparently Verstappen retired to a technical issue.
I think that's what everybody's saying. Lawson up in 7th. Again, like Colapinto, that would be brilliant for his self-esteem. Gasly in 6th, which I got passed by Behrman, but again, that's solid points for an Alpine.
Yeah, really good points.
And then Behrman up in 5th, I think that's his equal best ever finish.
I think he came 4th in Mexico last year.
Yeah.
But still, it's up there for Behrman.
Everybody loved seeing Leclerc in 4th, but then the podium was Antonelli, Russell and Hamilton.
Yes.
And you have to bear in mind, Antonelli and Hamilton were both race engineered by Pete Boddington at different points.
Do you know who Mercedes sent up to the podium?
Was it Bono?
It was Bono.
Oh, bless.
Which, I don't know if that was as much because it was Antonelli's race engineer.
Yeah.
Or if it was because Hamilton was there as well.
Toto actually says, I still think of Hamilton as my driver, even though he's wearing red. I just look up and I'm like, oh yeah, he's in red today.
Yeah. So, I think it could have been Bono saying, can I go up?
Yeah.
And Toto going, yeah, it's actually the perfect time.
It's Hamilton's first ever Ferrari podium, because last year was a bit horrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of...
And also, like a Ferrari podium where he was actually just better than Leclerc for that day.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was fighting him tooth and nail and he came out on top, which has probably got to boost his confidence quite a bit.
Oh, he said he absolutely loved it. It's the happiest he's been for years. Probably since 2021. But yeah, let's...
Yeah, probably. I don't know, actually winning Britain in the Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the peak.
So, yeah, I'm looking at the standings. I know it's 2 races and 1 sprint.
Yes.
But it's really bizarre. Piastri is 12th on 3 points.
Yeah, because he did technically do the sprint.
Yeah, that's where he got those 3 points from.
But he's actually completed 0 Grand Prix laps this year.
Yeah.
I think he's the only driver to do that. Even Stroll has done more racing this year than Piastri has. He's just been unlucky.
Norris is down in 6th on 16. Given that Russell is in the lead on 51 and Antonelli is on 47.
Yeah.
To see, like...
But the fact that Behrman is now in 5th on 17.
Yeah.
Ahead of both McLarens, both Red Bulls.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, yeah, Behrman has outscored the top 3 in the championship last year.
Yeah. It's mad. Haas are now 4th in the championship ahead of Red Bull.
Yeah, again, mostly thanks to Behrman. In fact, I think entirely thanks to Behrman, he's got all the points this year for Haas.
Yeah.
So Oliver Behrman Racing has outscored Red Bull, RB Alpine, 4th in the championship, and actually only 1 point behind McLaren.
Yeah.
I think that double DNS this race and the issue for Piastri last race has really hampered McLaren's.
Oh yeah, I mean it's very early days.
Constructors.
Actually, Cadillac are now 10th because they've actually finished races where Aston Martin haven't.
Yeah, they get count back.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean I know this is a kind of silly exercise because we're like 2 races, 1 sprint in, and it will settle out. But
there's been so many technical issues in DNFs that it looks a bit silly, really.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've heard lots of, apparently, and I've heard this enough places to believe it.
Yes.
About a year ago, Ferrari went to the FIA.
Yes.
And said, we've run some tests on these new eggs, and we've thought about it. And you're going to have a really big problem with the starts, because the amount of harvesting you're allowed to do on the formation lap is limited. You're not allowed to use batteries to launch. You've got to keep the turbo spooled up without the MGUH. They said starts are going to be dangerous because lots of people aren't going to be able to start. And apparently the FIA, obviously in more polite language, said, our job is to design the rules. Your job is to design cars that meet them. It's not your job to tell us how to change the rules.
Yeah.
So Ferrari went away and said, oh, fair enough, we'll build a car that follows the rules and optimises the starts.
Yeah.
And now everybody else is complaining and saying, well, the start procedure needs to be changed because we can't keep up with the Ferraris.
Well, even having that pre-start procedure so they can rev up their turbos is feels a bit kind of artificial and like...
Yeah.
Like, can they not rev their engines up enough in the however many seconds the lights go on for?
Yeah, the whole setup is just really weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although I did notice that it was either China or Australia. I think it was Australia, the blue lights lit up. The blue lights went out. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, start. There was hardly any pause with all 5 lights on.
Yeah. Which it was quite weird. But I think it is actually a person who presses the button to switch off the lights.
That's a good point, actually. While those 5 red lights are going on, you would think
they rev any... They used to just hold whatever the perfect revs was for the start, right?
Yeah.
But so why couldn't they just max it out? When the 4th light comes on, try and drop it back down to get the best getaway into first gear.
I have no idea. It is really quite...
I mean, it sounds quite complicated.
I mean, it is a very difficult thing to launch, but... I mean, it's the same as the Mercedes compression ratio issue. Mercedes built a completely compliant car.
Yeah.
The rules say that compression ratio is measured when cold, they've done that.
Yeah.
You know, if measured at the specified temperature, it's within the rules.
And they actually can't measure it any other way.
No, well they can now. They're going to measure it, I think, at 120 centigrade.
So what's that going to do? Is that going to make Mercedes illegal?
Well, it's going to come in like August or September, so they've got enough time to change their piston design.
Well, it's gonna nerf them, isn't it?
A bit, yeah. Well, it's going to nerf 8 cars on the 22 car grid.
Interesting.
But again, you see the mentality of the grid was to complain about it, and their complaint was really down to they found something we didn't think of.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
It's a very weird situation, I think.
Talking of weird situations,
Yes.
Jonathan Wheatley has left for, quote, personal reasons as team boss of Audi.
Yeah. But he's only been in there for like a year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's only had 2 races as Audi's team principal.
Yeah, and Bortoleto scored 2 points, and I don't think Hulkenberg scored any. But what's weird is all the chatter is that he's heading to Aston Martin.
Yeah.
But you'd think if you were Jonathan Wheatley, Audi is already a challenge. It's a big name. It was a midfield team in Sauber. It's now got big backing. It's got 2 really interesting drivers. They've really scored points and finished races. Why go to an absolutely struggling team?
Well, yeah. I think one reason that F1.com mentions is that Aston Martin is based in the UK.
Yeah.
So he could live with his wife again.
Where does his wife live?
Well, that's just what F1 says, like...
Such
a deal would enable Wheatley to return to living in the UK with his wife.
Oh, I suppose, it's back to what we were saying right at the beginning of the podcast, that...
Yeah, they're based in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And also Aston Martin do have probably a lot of money.
Well, yeah, we said that earlier, didn't we, with Aramco and Honda. And...
So it could just be that, what's his name, Lawrence Stroll has gone to Jonathan Wheatley and probably a bunch of other people and said how much we need, because Adrian Newey is the current team principal, but he's not a team principal kind of by trade, is he?
That's not his skill set.
No, he's an aerodynamicist, technical director.
But there again, they've said it's the chassis that's good, it's the engine that's bad.
Yeah.
So... I don't know, it just seems like weird, doesn't it?
It is weird, but also Aston Martin have said pretty unequivocally that Wheatley won't be their team principal. Well, not that explicitly, but they've said, like, we're not looking for a new team principal right now.
Well, no, on the BBC site it says Aston Martin make an approach.
Let me have a look at the BBC.
Yeah, it actually says... Aston Martin team owner Lawrence Stroll has made Wheatley an offer to run the race team under managing partner Adrian Newey.
Aston Martin's spokesperson said the team will not be engaging in media speculation about his senior leadership team, and then more stuff that basically means we're not saying anything.
Yeah.
Oh, they've even got a picture of Wheatley and Newey together at Red Bull.
Yeah, it's... I mean, in a way, the problems at Red Bull aren't that surprising because in the last, I'm going to say 2 years, there has been such a bleed of talent from Red Bull.
Yes.
I mean, there's Jonathan Wheatley, we just said, there's Adrian Newey.
There's a lot of other people, I'm sure.
There are loads, yeah.
Even in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
Like Gasly and Albon have actually, they were both Red Bull drivers who got kind of sidelined, but then they left. And they've actually become kind of like drivers at other teams.
Yeah. But I mean, not just that, it's the... Hold on a minute, I'll just get rid of horrible pop-ups. Continue reading. Yeah, after they got rid of Christian Horner, I think they wanted to dismantle his kind of influence.
Yes.
Will Courtney left. That's head of strategy. Horner, Newey. Wheatley left. There was somebody else, I think, on the engine side as well who left. Rob Marshall, Chief Engineering Officer.
Yeah.
He's new technical director at McLaren. Chief mechanic to Max Verstappen, Lee Stevenson left.
I mean, even that's enough, isn't it? To have a noticeable impact.
But Lee Stevenson was there since 2006 as fourth mechanic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, that kind of... So, yeah, the kind of impact on Red Bull is quite significant.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, we've got... You said Japan was a lot easier to watch, didn't you?
Yeah, so, well, depends how much practice you want to see.
Oh, free practices. I don't think I'm going to see a lot of free practices. I'm going to hold my hand up now.
2:30 a.m.
Ugh.
6 a.m. for practice 2.
Yep.
2:30 again for practice 3. And then both quali and the race are at 6 a.m.
See, I can do that. 6 o'clock on a Friday. 6 o'clock on... No, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, it's a little bit early. But it's better than 4.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'll probably, especially in the race, watch it in bed at 6, start to get hungry about 6:30, 6:45, and go downstairs for breakfast.
Wait for the first Aston Martin to peel off onto track and cause a safety car to make some coffee.
Yeah. See if the McLarens actually make it, to the grid and launch.
Well, Miami's weird. It's late at night.
Oh, that's a month away.
I know it's a month away, but it's a sprint and it's all like 9:30, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Was there any other gossip we needed to cover? Or
we talked about the Verstappen at the NLS, right? The Nordschleife.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did hear something else as well.
What?
Apparently, team radio is not being broadcast this season.
Not what team radio in Formula One?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they were broadcasting it for the first 2 races.
I don't think... Oh, there were a bit, but apparently it's quite heavily edited. Apparently Norris and Verstappen have been really criticising the cars. And none of that has actually made it through.
Well, yeah, obviously. I noticed they've also not been broadcasting onboards from Aston Martin, but people have found them, and you can see on the straight that Alonso takes his hands off the wheel and massages them and stretches them.
Oof.
On the straight. And I remember when they had the F ducts where they had to cover a hole with their hand.
Yeah.
And people were saying it's not safe for them not to have their hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, did you hear about turn 6?
Oh, at Australia?
No, I think it was China. GP Lambiase said to Max, you need to lift and coast. I think it was turns 1 and 14 in China for the regen, and unfortunately this is what we're stuck with at the moment.
Yeah.
To regenerate the electricity, they have to lift and coast into some corners and brake early so they can regenerate the battery.
Yes.
And after, I think it was 35 laps, Max comes on the radio and says, why am I lifting and coasting in turn 6? It doesn't seem to be helping. And GP said, I don't know, I never told you to. I said, what do you mean you never told me? And he said, no, you're not meant to be lifting and coasting in turn 6. And he's like, you mean to say I've done like 36 laps lifting and coasting in the wrong corner? And it was like, yes, apparently it was uncharacteristically grumpy exchange, given, I mean, we know that Max and GP have a robust relationship where they...
Yeah.
But apparently it was like really quite heated, but they're not broadcasting Max's radio.
Yeah. Because he's being critical of the cars.
They said it's like Super Mario, doesn't he?
Mm.
And there
I
are
wonder
people...
I wonder if he'll get fined for bringing the sport into disrepute.
I mean, it's his opinion, isn't it? You know, I mean...
Well, yeah, it's getting into like free speech sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's not... I mean, I think, you know, there were times when, like, he said, oh, the stewards are a bunch of clowns and stuff. I think that's far more serious, and he didn't get done for that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was...
I've got one bit of kind of gossip.
Yeah.
Mercedes have a new deputy team principal.
Yeah, I saw that.
In Bradley Lord. Maybe... I think he's filled in as team principal while Toto's been away. I think this might be the next step for him to eventually take over from Toto once Toto gives up.
Yeah. I mean, we said, like, last season that Toto's kind of doing a strategic managed withdrawal, isn't he?
Yeah.
Where he doesn't go to every single race. Which, I mean, you know, it's the sign of having built a good team.
Yeah, if they can cope without him. And now he's given Bradley the chance to be more kind of like formally the second in command.
Yeah, and also, to be honest, if he's sat there at home, I mean, he's worth billions, you know, with a decent computer and a decent internet connection and a headset.
Yeah.
Is there much advantage in him actually being physically present?
Yeah, I don't know, apart from like morale and like the image of it.
Yeah, but you know, he can be on the phone, or you can have screens connecting him to like the home base and screens connecting him to the pit wall.
Yeah.
There's one other thing I saw, again, like, my Facebook feed is very heavily curated now. There was a clip from the 1973 Silverstone race, where Jody Scheckter spun on the start, I think.
Yeah.
And bounced off the pit wall. And then everybody else piled into him, and it was absolute carnage. Luckily, no serious injuries or deaths.
Yeah.
And what struck me watching this was the pit wall was literally a knee-high concrete wall with an open railing on top of it, not even mesh.
Yeah.
And guys just leaning on it watching the race.
Yeah.
And when the crash happened, people just piled onto the track. Marshals were waving yellow flags and red and yellow flags. And apparently it was red flagged further around the lap so the other drivers knew.
Yeah.
But the marshals were just wearing, like, well, in the 70s you call them slacks and, like, shirts.
Yeah.
There's a policeman wandering around with his proper Bobby's helmet. The firemen were wearing proper helmets with neck hoods.
Yeah.
Which was about the only ones. But there were just, like, people everywhere, and none of them in safety gear. People just walking around kicking bits of debris off the track. People just getting out of cars and walking around.
And this was while the race was still going?
Well, it was red flagged, but then the red flag cars didn't go into the pit. They just pulled up on the grid. So these guys were walking around and these cars were just pulling up and they were waving at them to stop.
Yeah. I mean, that was the 70s. It was very different.
They picked one F1 car up on a... I can't remember what we call it, like a pickup, like a mini crane on the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah.
And 3 of the drivers have just sat there resting their feet on the car to stop it swinging to and fro. Just like sat on the back of it while it drove off. They're like, oh, I've got to go back to the pits, I'll just sit here.
Yeah.
It was just so kind of casual, I think.
Oh, it's like the pit lane never even used to have a wall between the pit lane and the track.
No.
And it used to have no speed limit.
Yeah.
So you'd have people just relaxing, standing in, again in like shirts and shorts. And a car would come past at literally like 150 miles an hour right next to them.
Well, I mean, even now with the pit lane limit, it's 50 miles an hour.
It's still like standing next to a busy A road. It's not pleasant.
No. And one of the little known facts is the 1994 weekend when we lost Ratzenberger and Senna.
Yeah.
Also had a horrific accident where they didn't attach a wheel and it literally launched up so far it went off camera and bounced around the pit lane.
Yeah.
And at the time, there were no limits on who could be in the pit lane or what they had to wear.
Yeah.
There were just guys kind of milling around on press junkets and I can't
think
remember when pit lane speed limits came in, but
it probably was around then. Because
Yeah.
I think 94 was a bit of a kind of...
watershed.
Yeah. After that, lots and lots of things changed. And a good thing they did, because
Oh, yeah.
there were no deaths then until Bianchi.
Yeah. But, I mean, yeah, you're right.
20 years.
After that, they started limiting who was allowed in the pit lane and probably having, like, fast lane and slow lane
And the limit, yeah, the speed limit as well.
yeah, and just actually making it a safer place.
Yes.
I'm looking at the standings.
Yeah.
We got 4 British drivers in the top 6.
Why can't I see the standings? There we go.
Russell, Hamilton, Behrman and Norris.
Yeah. Not bad.
It's fairly epic. Yeah, so we'll be back. I'm looking at the clock. It's been getting on a bit. We've been rabbiting. We got Japan next.
Is Lindblad racing under a British flag?
He is, yes.
Okay.
He's born and brought up in Surrey.
Like you?
Yeah. Not that part of Surrey. It's a very posh part of Surrey.
Yeah, it's still one town in one country, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the fact that you're from there that you can say not that part of Surrey.
No, I went to a grammar school in Surrey, so I'm not really urban. not from the streets.
Yeah. But yeah, he's got a British flag.
Yeah, so we've got Japan next week. Yeah.
1 week from now, give or take.
Be interesting to see. If I had to predict anything, I would say both Mercedes don't finish. I think they've been very good at hiding reliability issues.
Oh. It would be interesting to see what kind of a track it's like for deployment and recharge. Because China was actually quite forgiving, I think, because it has that massive straight they can lift and coast for a while.
Yeah.
Big braking zones. Australia has very few braking zones, so it was a bit harder to recharge, apparently. And I think Japan's quite flowing, but I think it's got some decent braking zones.
Yeah, and I think it's quite an old school kind of properly racetrack, isn't it?
Yeah, all the drivers love it. It's like one of the favourites, but it's got quite a lot of long flowing corners like the S's.
Yeah.
Spoon.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're going to wrap it up there. I'm just having a quick look. Oh yeah, it's the figure of 8 Suzuka, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes under itself. It's a cool track.
Yeah, you're right. There aren't any big long straights for people to...
Certainly not like China's got one that's like 5 miles long or something.
Super clipping.
Yes. China's got like 2 massive straights.
Oh yeah,
think
Azerbaijan's going to be great for that, isn't it?
Azerbaijan, they're going to be like lifting off halfway down the straight or something.
Yeah.
It's going to be really weird. They might just like... Driver might overtake on the straight and then start super clipping more and get re-overtaken.
Yeah.
That would be... I bet people would hate that, actually.
Well, there have been people saying like the fighting between Leclerc and Hamilton was a bit artificial and stuff.
Nah.
But it's still... I mean, they enjoyed it, we enjoyed it, so...
Yeah, it was awesome racing. If both the drivers in the car enjoyed it...
Yeah.
Then it's good racing.
Yeah, you're right. It's a lot of kind of sweeping fast corners and kind of nearly straights, aren't there, at Suzuka?
Yeah. Miami is also a bit... It's a street circuit, so I don't think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Canada should be fine, because that's got that massive straight.
I mean, you've got T14 in Japan through T15 down to T16, which is probably flat out all the way.
Is that 130R? Yeah,
Probably.
the left-hander.
Yeah.
It's kind of nearly flat out. It's like, depends which generation of cars you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a big braking zone into 16, I guess. And into turn 1. We'll see, I guess.
Yep.
But,
anyway, right.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been Graham Miller. I write mystery novels as Graham H. Miller. Toby's been Toby Miller, who's official Tibby on YouTube.
Yep.
And we're going to actually wrap it up and say goodbye, and we'll talk to you after Japan.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.